Hello, babe.
Howdy.
It is December 30th, 2025. It is almost the end of the year, and
Yeah.
I'm Brendan here with Babe. Adam cannot be with us. He's a little under the weather this evening, so it's just you and me in here tonight doing this thing, talking about, I don't know. I mean, the title kind of says what we're talking about a little bit, but I'm sure it'll get off onto some bunny trails and whatever. But beforehand, um, Babe and me were talking, offline here about DEMA and a bunch of other stuff going on, and we were going to be at DEMA this in 2026 as it's going to be in New Orleans. So we just kind of talking about how long we're planning on um, being there and all kind of stuff. And you said you want to talk about something else, but was that related to DEMA or was that something else?
Yeah, it's related to DEMA, but it's stuff that we'll bring up later if it
Okay,
happens.
fair enough. Fair enough. Um,
Doesn't need to be talked about unless it's a go.
Okay, fair enough. I'm good with that. What's been going on? It's been about a month since we've been here. I meant to do a live before Christmas, like a Christmas episode, and it's just like life's been a whirlwind since the last time we were on here. Actually, since we were on here, I was at Underwater Intervention the beginning of this month, and spoke there to about a dozen different people, talking about underwater habitats in the blue economy, and as far as what that looks like. And we had a couple different people, several different people posing questions. Had some good information. Had a talk with an engineer who is very had good insight as far as what Deep is doing with Vanguard. We talked about Fabian and stuff along those lines. So really good conversations had there. We'll see what comes from it. It was a good experience for me to get out there actually speaking about stuff like this as well, and just notoriety. So that was always cool. Unfortunately, I was there on the last day of underwater intervention, and by the time I got done speaking, a lot of places were closing up already for the day. So I really didn't get to rub too many shoulders with people, but I was able to walk around pretty quick and see what was going on. So that was the biggest thing that's really happening here recently. Otherwise, with the holidays and stuff like that, it's been crazy. So, but Babe, what have you been doing?
Crazy life stuff again, but
Yeah,
yeah, it. I still got to have all my kids for Christmas home, which was great, and their spouse.
that's good.
I call
Yeah,
them all kids, so
yeah,
yeah. And that hadn't happened for a while, and we
cool,
didn't think it was going to happen this year, and it got to. So I was pretty thrilled about it.
nice.
Yeah,
Well, good. That's the best Christmas gift you as a parent I think you can have.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't know. I'm not a parent, but I'm guessing.
It's so much so that I think that this next year, if I can make it work, I'm going to skip it for myself and go see my parents because they're a few states away, or since I'm
Cool.
here in the U.S. So yeah,
Yeah, nice. Well, very cool. Well, now that we get all that out of the way, we can just start talking a little bit, about 2025, 2026. What kind of, when I was first started thinking about this, I was like we can do the typical end of year recap where we talk about stuff that's happened and ASC's been up to and what we've been up to, and we can talk about that for a little bit. But I think it's a lot of these YouTubers I watch or listen to, they make predictions for 2026 or the next year and stuff like that. And I thought it'd be fun for us to do that since there is so much going on right now with the underwater habitat world. And not just that, but even with the seasteading and stuff along those lines, there's lots of movement going on. So it'd be fun to make some predictions about that too. So I thought we can get into that here in a second. Um, but as far as ASC goes, I mean, we, we've we kind of, well, I kind of, since I do it, but I took a back seat on the social media this year as kind of a experiment to see what would happen if I didn't put too much out, um, as far as our numbers and stuff like that. And we pretty much maintained. We didn't gain many followers. We didn't lose many followers. It was pretty stagnant. And so that's good on one hand, but now next year I've already been starting to build a bunch of content for next year. So I'm going to come back into it next year. So you're going to see for our social media stuff that it's going to come back in with quite a bit of content coming on. The Colonize the Ocean podcast, definitely going to be changing that up a little bit. I put some stuff out there, some feelers on that. One thing is that we've been doing and I've been doing for our Patreon is having a weekly poll.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tie that poll into my plan is to tie that poll into the podcast as well.
Gotcha.
So I'll have a poll on there that coincides. And so I think that'll be a fun little thing to draw people from one area or the other. Maybe you're a Patreon member, you don't listen to the podcast, or maybe you listen to the podcast and you're not a Patreon member. That's cool. And the polls are free. So you can sign up for Patreon as a free member and get all that in there. I'm cool with that. There are paid tiers, which obviously, if you want to help support what we're doing, you can do that. I'm trying to do the plugs here at the beginning instead of the end like we normally do here. So switching it up a little bit, but it's I'm just trying to be more cohesive about what ASC is trying to do and stuff on those lines. So that's a little bit about that. Did you have anything as far as what you've seen or you felt from ASC this year that you wanted to throw in there?
Caught me off guard. Wasn't expecting that.
I can come back to you.
Yeah, please.
No,
that.
I gave you a very, very vague idea of what we're talking about tonight, so I didn't expect much anyway. But yeah, I think the podcast has been growing in numbers, so we're doing good there. I think we try some different stuff to try to grow it a little bit more content ideas, not only for that, but just for social media in general and stuff too. So that's kind of what I'm looking for that. And then, obviously 2026, like I said, more content, hopefully with some more speaking engagements, maybe some more travels in 2026 too, as we're focusing more on the dive community and stuff along those lines as well, to try to get more in those avenues and those areas as well. There's some more marketing dollars at that and just do better with the time we have on what we're trying to do here, and finally get my rant. It's not really a rant video, but my thoughts on the whole deep Vanguard situation, which, man, I've got so many things I want to say. It's like, how do I say all this? So I think I've got an idea how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna start recording that here pretty soon. Now that I've been stewing over this for about a month now. But what about you? Obviously, I'm still waiting for your thoughts on 2025. But no, as far as 2026, what do you want to see happen? Not only just for ASC, but as far as for Babe too.
Well, I think it's for me. It's going to make you're sitting here talking, and you're kind of mirroring, or I'm mirroring it with what things for both, because spoke to me. I was discussing with my daughter where she lives, in the state where she lives, about what we were just talking about, hitting up with the diving community. Yep. And so there's some places that aren't real far from where she lives. I told her we could start there, and you and I have talked about it before. I'll say it's no secret. It's the state of North Carolina, and they have a lot of quarries there that are being turned into dive places, which is just excellent. Yeah. And I absolutely love it. I wish I lived in that area to make an impact of some kind myself for that. It doesn't matter. I want to be able to use that because as long as she's there, that's a foothold for me to get into to do both. Because
right.
I love diving, so I can go dive and talk some ASC, because I'm not here to jam it down your throat. I'm here to hey, this is a real possibility now. This
right.
is this is where we're at in the world now. This is the technology we have. See, gauge interest and see what comes from it.
And I will say one of the things I'm definitely going to talk about, and not to harp on this or to bring this up as well, but with the whole deep Vanguard situation is one of the things where they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting and the hard work for people like us and for organizations like us by throwing those money out there for marketing and breaking ground and stuff like that. That will hopefully help us get into some of these places and raise notoriety too forth for this, and like people start looking around. Well, ASC is always going to come up because we've got more content out there than pretty much anybody. Now, Deep has been putting tons out there and catching up,
Yep.
but I still think we probably got more content out there just because we've been doing it longer, talking about a lot of these things. So,
to me, them also going to the safety stuff, which they're really good about. That, from what I can see, they're really good about, and so they're making paths into what's going to be needed for that to be a normal thing.
Yep.
So by doing that, they're just they're clearing a path. They're making it a normal thing so that in the future there's a template.
Yep.
Someone's already done it. This is how it worked. Can you make it better? Great. Whatever. And I'm talking about bureaucracy more than actual.
Right.
Because the safety part, that's the engineers and the safety people to do, but the bureaucracy of it, because there's going to be insurance and all the stuff.
Yep.
The hoops you got to jump.
Absolutely. And I said too a little bit about seasteading and stuff like that too, as they're pushing the envelopes there as well. And really a lot of them are talking about the undersea aspect. Ocean Builders alone have their whole entire brand around their underwater. It's called Ocean Us, the underwater aspect of their spars and stuff along those lines. So again, more and more people are looking towards the underwater aspect of the thing, whether that was their initial focus or not. They're seeing that there is a desire and a drive there, and people are starting to test this out and be like, can I make money at this? And I think that, again, part of me is like, why is that not us? But at the same time, part of me is like, thank you for doing all this work for us so that we can come in behind you and be like, yep, we can do this. We can, and fill that need. So it's a double-edged sword, obviously, in this, but I'm trying to be as optimistic about a lot of this stuff that's going on as I can be. And that's all I can do at this point in time. So, like I said, lots of stuff going on. I think good. I hope it's good. And then we'll see, with the different things we want to try to, whether it's DEMA, like we said, and getting down there and rubbing shoulders, maybe underwater intervention. If they got speaking of opportunity again, maybe I can do that again. Hitting up these quarries and these different dive locations here in the United States over the next year, if not physically, definitely email and phone, and just really putting our name out there for these different places. So that's really the focus, more social media, more boots on the ground type of thing is what you're going to see out of ASC in 2026. And I'm excited about it. And I hope that you all watching at home are as well.
That's, I'm scared I'm going to say the wrong quarry. I want to say it's White Star Quarry, where the American Nemo's Garden.
Oh, okay.
Set up. I'm anxious to see, because it was, kind of being established last year. So I'm anxious to see how it really takes off this year. I'm anxious to see what happens with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Other thing, I used to be able to like keep tabs on everything going on, but there is so much more going on. It's like I'm missing stuff, and I'll be talking to somebody like, "Did you hear about this?" I'm like, "How did I miss that?" type of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, and it's just trying to keep my ear and rely on you people out there too to shoot me messages or shoot content or articles you've seen, because I could definitely miss them. I'm on a email, it's like a news group type of thing with the Seasteading Institute people, and there's all those conversations going on there, and some of it's underwater related, and they'll have thoughts and ideas about stuff every once in a while too. So always trying to consume as much information as I possible can to do with it what I think makes the most sense for the company.
I know I talked to you probably a month ago about this, maybe a little bit less, about the articles I've been seeing about some of the scientific advances.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tagged them so that I can go through them, because it's one of the things I want to do is be able to tag them and make sure they're not just a bogus AI generated or whatever article just for a clickbait thing. And if they're legit, send them to you, because of course I'm looking at power, one of the biggest things,
Yeah.
power, and that was one of them. I forget, but there was genetic research for plant life. There's been some crazy cool things listed, and it's like, yeah, I think we could be there, but I don't necessarily trust it, because like AI has everything.
Right.
You can't trust anymore. It's awful.
I hear you. Yep. It's obviously, if anybody's following any ASC stuff, I use AI all the time, but I don't use it to deceive people or fake. It's more just for ideas and stuff along those lines. So I'm all about AI, but when used ethically and properly and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, I'd be curious, for the people watching this, whether it's now or later or whatever, on your thoughts on what you're hoping to see out of ASC, or not necessarily ASC, just out of the underwater human habitation world over the next 2026. What do you want to see as well? Because I think that everybody's got different things they're looking for, whether you want the deep type saturation diving type of situation, or you're wanting more of what ASC is trying to provide, or whatever too. So I think there's a lot of different avenues to go and with this. But yeah,
I was listening to the article. It escapes me now, but it's the Colonization podcast, and the article about the study done on the saturation divers.
Mm-hmm.
And their difference and their focus and the way their thought processes,
yep.
And everything. And one of the biggest things that stood out to me was how their air consumption improved, because their whole self was just relaxing.
Yeah.
They didn't have all the stuff that we deal with every day, bombarding them. And that to me alone, is like, sign me up, because staying at Jules, we had as much as we wanted. The rest of it, as far as like social media, because they have Wi-Fi there.
Yep.
But otherwise, toss the tablet and jump in the water.
Pretty much.
Need that.
Yep, it's a simpler way of life.
Yeah. And growing up where I did, I relate it to that in my head, because you're on a ranch in the middle of nowhere, it seems like, and nothing for miles and miles and miles, and it was simpler. And the way they describe people as being able to think, I remember being able to be like that, and it's like, wow, the world's just so hustle and bustle now. It's like, you don't get that anymore. And then so they're talking about that, and it's like, yeah, that'd be a great way to get it, because I love the water. And yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, very true. And that is life. That's the life we want to provide for each and every one of you that so choose to join ASC and stay with us, or something like that. Whatever, if that works for you, we're all about it.
Motto about it.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the article. Yeah.
Anyway, did you have anything else you want to throw in there tonight, babe?
Oh, Happy New Year, because by the time you see us again, that's what it's going to be.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of the year.
I've got things to wind down for 2025, but I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to 2026, because 2025 I see people in bad shape with real problems, all the time, because of what I do for a living. But it wasn't an ideal year, I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Nope. It's a weird year this year. Well,
yeah. I'm looking forward to really getting into the next year, trying to keep it more positive.
I agree. And with that note, I think we'll try to wrap it up here a little bit, unless something pops up to you. But otherwise, everybody, AtlantaSeaColony.com. That's where you can find all of our information, our socials, anything you're wanting to know about us. Facebook, Instagram. Well, not Instagram, I'm bringing one back. TikTok, all that good stuff. It's all there. Our podcast is also there, Colonization podcast content, minimum twice a week. Another great place is Discord. We're a Discord community where lots of people in there talking about all types of different stuff. So if you're one of those extroverts or just want tons of information, that's definitely the place to go. You're going to get tons of different information from lots of people. And as we talked about Patreon, patreon.com/ASC you can join for free. We have different tiers where you can pay and get different perks or just partner with us that way. And then we do have the people who have partnered with us are Brian Acosta, Martin Reese, Babe, Adam, and my father. So, and then we've got all these free members that have joined us as well and are, we love having them in there, and hope to see you in there in 2026 as well as we work to grow ASC and all that fun stuff. So with that being said, Happy New Year. Hope you had a good Christmas, Babe. Yes. Thank you again for everything you do and for joining me on this journey here.
I was looking forward to it.
All right, man. Bye, guys.